Good evening and welcome back to the St. Petersburg By Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, Bloody Strings.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Bloody Strings, one of the many chronicles here at St. Pete by Night. I'm Devlin Kane, your humble storyteller this evening, and these are my lovely players. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, good evening. I am Noree, and I will be playing Bellatrix, Whip of Clan Malkavian.
I'm Kyrie, and I'm playing Grei Novak, Storyteller with huge aspiration.
Hi, I'm Kendall. I'm playing Maggie Haywood, the Hakata.
Hello, I'm Lekar, and I am playing Matthew Halden, the Toreador.
Hey, I'm Mew, and I'm playing Sophie, the malted milkshake Malkavian.
Last we left off, the coterie had been through quite a bit. Loss of a coterie mate, loss of a touchstone, success while simultaneously being a failure of a plan they worked almost a month to achieve. And then spending time to pick up the pieces. It's been roughly a month since these things transpired. Some have picked up more responsibility given to them by others. Some have taken it upon themselves to create responsibility where there wasn't before. Coming back toward the end of the month, one of them received a text regarding their own responsibilities. Maggie, when you receive the notification from the Beaumonts, you are leaving Manta.
Yep.
Sorry, Mr. Grei. Where do you go after that?
She will head up to the mortuary in the neutral zone to meet them.
What's on your mind as you are approaching the mortuary.
There's a certain amount of wariness because she didn't expect it to be called in this quickly, but there's also a bit of relief because it is being called in. She sees this as a stepping stone because the way that she views prestation is like having a credit card. You have to be in debt in order to bill it. So, there's just a lot of consideration and just contemplation as she heads up there.
You finally reach your destination. You cross the gate, walk up to the kind of Victorian style building. And are met at the door by the same servant that you meet every time. Hello, Miss Lewis. How may I be of assistance today?
Hello, I have a meeting with the owners.
That you do, and I shouldn't keep you here any longer than needed. Please come on in. And he steps out of the way, letting you into the building. You notice that there are a lot of boxes, unlike when you were here before. Several crates that haven't been opened, a couple that have been, but the lid has been kind of loosely placed back on top. He guides you through this maze of crates before getting to the office. I believe Hawken will be the one seeing you this evening. Is there anything I can do for you in the meantime while you wait? He is currently meeting with his brother.
No, thank you. I appreciate the offer.
Should you need me, I will be around. And he turns and dips around the corner. You're sitting in...
And look around.
Okay. Give me a wits and investigation.
Okay.
As you're kind of looking around, you see again more of these crates. You do see that a couple of them are, in addition to the ones that are kind of open but kind of loosely covered again, a few of them look kind of odd or unique. They don't have like the standard wooden crates that are like nailed shut. These seem to be more like kind of a more fine wood. The binding that keeps it closed is less destructive, almost like there was more care in how these things were encased and packaged. And there are roughly 2 of them. Very fine, kind of dark red wood. Roughly about 7 feet long for the crate itself. But that's really the only thing that's kind of jumping out at you here.
Okay. A 7-foot long crate. How wide is it?
Roughly 4 feet.
Would it be easy to assume that that's how some of them got here by transportation?
Not an unfair assumption.
Okay. She is going to activate the binding fetter because of all the other places that she's seen recently. She wants to see if the shades are here as well.
Easy enough. You do not notice any shades.
Okay. If she doesn't notice any, she will deactivate it because she's sure that they probably have some personal and private fetters of their own.
After you have kind of given the room a glance, do you do anything else?
She's going to peer over the boxes and see if they have any particular labeling. Like where they came from.
I'll say with a 3 where you're at, you can tell that there is some kind of inscription on one of the lids, but it's kind of turned away in a funny angle that you can't quite see it. You would have to get a closer look to figure out what it says. But you can see there's an inscription.
Okay, she'll get a little closer to read it.
It does have kind of like in a gold engraving Giovanni.
Of course. And she'll go back to where she was sitting.
Okay. A little time passes. There are a couple moments where you hear voices elevated in the other room. But then finally the door kind of flies open. You see William step out. He looks at you, sits there for a moment, and then turns his head, and he goes past his office, and you can hear him heading toward the door out of the mortuary entirely. Just as soon as you hear the door slam behind him, Harkin's door opens. Miss Haywood, I understand you hope you haven't been waiting here too long.
Oh, not too long at all. It seems like your previous meeting went over. It happens.
I appreciate your understanding. Please come on in.
She'll nod, she'll get up, and she'll walk into his office and peer around.
He
There
steps
more
in.
boxes?
There are not any more boxes in this room. He walks over and he sits down behind his desk and gestures for you to sit across from him.
She will.
Now, I understand you probably weren't expecting us to reach out so soon, but we've had some shift in circumstances. We've had some guests. Rather important guests have come to visit. And I would very much like it if you could perhaps broker a meeting. I understand over the situation that we assisted you with, you have managed to gain a little bit of renown in the city of St. Pete. And we are hoping that maybe you could utilize that in some way to provide a meeting space between our associates and a individual that seems to not want to have dealings with our family, so to speak.
It's a possibility. Who are you meeting with?
Our guest would like to have an exchange with this broker individual.
Ah. And you are looking to have this meeting within the bounds of the Camarilla?
Not ideally, but the Camarilla seems to be where they're most easily accessed. The agents that we've been able to uncover in the neutral zone and the Anarch territories have been rather reclusive.
I see. I may be able to arrange a space.
That would be marvelous. And if you can accomplish this, I will consider our debt repaid.
Thank you. I will have to go talk to some people that have more ownership over areas and authority over such things than I do. But I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Certainly, I trust that you will. With the business side out of the way, I trust you have been acclimating well over the last month.
It has been going fairly well. It's been, dare I say it, quiet. But the city is charming for what it is.
It certainly does have its little charms. Now, I do want to ask a question. I do understand that, well, part of the reason that William and I were having a bit of a impromptu meeting during the time I was supposed to be having one with you, it has come to his attention that while you did make it clear this was your intent, he did address the fact that you had gone and spoken with Amethyst. At which, in that moment, as that had been discovered, we have also found that there has been a new presence that we have not identified before now. Wanted to ask if you knew anything about it or if it was connected. I understand that there were shades that we are seeing around the city.
Yes.
Particularly around the Camarilla.
We have noticed them as well. We are trying to figure out why there's a sudden influx.
He takes a pen and writes some things down. And you don't know the origin.
For this one, no. I am told that the city has a history with unusual spirits and activities with specters. I have a couple of theories, but I can't put anything down to paper without further research.
Do you mind sharing your theories?
This place is on very powerful ley lines that are bursting, but they seem to have various dams that may be breaking. Sometimes it's like how there are flooding seasons, but with energy and power. Sometimes when it overflows, it can draw more or let more out. But it's just currently a theory. I don't fully understand how ley lines function, but I plan to.
See. Thank you for sharing that information.
I can't promise it is anything that is conducive or accurate, but if this city has a history with it, it may be a pattern.
The history of the city, from what I understand, has been a matter of outsider manipulation. Mages, sorcerers, they call themselves. I can't speak to a pattern before that. However, I do know after this mage was apprehended, the possessions seem to come to a complete halt. So I'm uncertain as to whether there's a pattern or maybe another manipulator.
Perhaps. Or perhaps when this mage originally was drawing on this power and was poking at such things, it wasn't... The things he was poking at and the things he opened up weren't closed completely. It's a possibility that there are still scars. I have no doubt in Amethyst and whatever family that she had here's ability to fix the problem before. But sometimes stitches open.
You make a fair point. Well, that being the case, I say that I understand that you may continue to be researching this based on what you just said. I would very much like to be kept informed on any findings. I would pay you, of course.
Thank you. Or is this something you are worried on behalf of your guests, or is it that you are planning on building out further from here?
I don't intend to build out any further, but something of the potential scale of which we're witnessing could be alarming. At the same time, could be an opportunity to gain some further favor with the Camarilla, and if it extends, maybe even the Anox. But I'd like to know the nature of the incursion before I weigh any possible opportunities.
Of course. I will have a look around, and I will have that conversation with someone once I get back down south. See about setting up that meeting point for you.
That'd just be fantastic. I will send you some details, what it is that they are willing to allow to be sent. You'll receive that shortly. If there's anything else I can do to assist in that matter, please feel free to reach out.
Once I've had that conversation, I will be sure to reach out, because I'm sure there are very particular accommodations for your guest. If the plaque on the package is correct.
Particular indeed. Well, if that's the case, unless you have anything you would like to address, you have satisfied my concerns, and our business is concluded.
I believe that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Please enjoy the rest of your evening.
She will nod, and she will start to head out.
What's on Maggie's mind as you leave the mortuary?
That was probably easier than she expected, and that there's got to be a catch somewhere in there. But she is going to go have a conversation with Kane now. Edwin, I mean, for setting up this meeting point.
Okay. As you make your way back toward Camarilla territory, we will shift to Bellatrix. Bellatrix, having gained the responsibility you have gained and spending the last month relatively quietly, where do we find you this evening?
Bella is in her shop, waiting for a very special customer to come in, and so she can do a reading. That customer is Cheryl, who she has had little contract over for the last couple of months due to busy craziness going on with the coterie and everything.
Okay. After you get everything set up, you wait for a little while. About 15-20 minutes later than kind of anticipated, finally Cheryl walks at the door. She looks like she's still wearing, like she might have just got off work. Her hair is a little disheveled, but she's trying to clean it up a little bit. She's wearing her apron. She steps in and sees you. Oh, hey, Bellatrix. Oh, did you give her the name Bellatrix? Did I say the wrong name?
She gave the name.
Okay. Hey, I kind of got lost on the way here a little bit. She walks in. This is a very nice place. I like it.
Thank you. I do apologize. I have been a little busy these last few months, so I haven't had a chance to sit down with you either. Come. I'll lead her into the back room where I do my readings.
She kind of looks around a little bit. There's a slight hesitation, but she follows you. So this is a tea shop?
Tea and tarot readings and things like that, yes. Would you like some tea?
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Great. I'm going to look at her for a moment. How is she looking? Like, I'm trying to read her emotions, really.
Give me what's an insight?
Okay. Four successes.
She looks pretty tired. She's got a little some like dark bags, a couple of dark bags under the eyes. She's got she looks a little thin, a little malnourished maybe. Skin is a little paler than when you last saw her.
Okay. I'll go to the other room and gather. I'm gonna make a. I think I'm gonna make a lemon balm tea for her. It should help like boost her mood and some of her energy. No special ingredients, just the lemon balm for her. And I'll bring it back. So this should help a little bit. You look kind of tired. Might help, give you some energy. So before we start, how have you been? Tell me what's been going on.
Oh, well, business has been... It's been good. It's just been draining. I need to probably hire a few more people to help out with the uptake, but at least it's getting somewhere.
And how have things been going with your aunt?
She doesn't seem to be getting better. She looks like a completely different person. Like she's stretched over her bones, kinda. Doctors aren't sure what's wrong. She seems oddly at ease, though. She's smiling more than I've seen her smile in a long time. Sometimes when she has enough strength, she hums.
Interesting. I mean, has she had any visitors that you haven't seen before or anything?
Just me and my cousin.
I guess
The doctors come in occasionally.
And I'm guessing your cousin is her child?
Yeah. Jeffrey. He He went away for a little while. He's been at school, but he came home when he found out she was sick.
How long has she been sick?
A little over a year now.
Okay. I'll pull out the cards. I'm really sorry. Must be very difficult to deal with something like this. I can see how it can add extra stress on you.
Do what you gotta do, right?
I think that's what all of us have to do. She'll shuffle the cards and then push it over to Cheryl. Could you cut the deck in half, please?
Yeah, okay. She reaches forward and takes the top half, sets it down.
Thank you. Bella will take the cards and then start laying them out in a 5-card cross fashion. She'll flip the top card. So this is your past, really. This is what things have been going on recently or maybe longer in the past. I'm seeing the 5 of Cups here. Picture of like someone surrounded by 5 cups. A lot of loss. Trying to focus. You may be focusing on what's gone wrong. I think, what's going on with your aunt and stuff, like you've had a bunch of setbacks, especially with the illness that the mysterious illness that's going on. She'll flip the next card, which is the right one. This is the 10 of Wands. It represents your present. And in your present, I see that you have a lot of responsibilities, burdens that are weighing on you. I mean, we can really see it now. You look exhausted, honestly. Like you could use a vacation. I would definitely consider, you said you want to hire new people. I would look into that, especially with the emotional burden you have going on with your aunt. She'll flip the left one. So this is your future. This is one of my favorite cards, honestly. It is the Star. This one, despite the challenges, there's going to be a period of calm and renewal, I think. You need to maintain some faith and optimism that things will get better. So, she'll flip the bottom one. My advice for you, at least the Empress, which is this one, is really lean into the nurturing and abundance. That's what she represents. And so you need to nurture your own well-being as well as your aunt's and that of your business. Because I feel like your aunt, your cousin, and your business, all of this is depending on you, but you can't look after them well enough if you don't nurture yourself.
Sure. But
how do you do that? Point to
Sure.
the present. Definitely look into hiring. If you'd like, I can ask around locally. I know a few people. Maybe they'll know some people that are looking for work. I have some contacts. And send them over to you. Get you some competent, maybe an extra manager who can help manage things for you as well. Take some of that burden of having to manage the diner all the time.
I don't know if I have enough to cover a manager, but I could probably cover paying a couple people the same amount that I make, that I bring home. Maybe.
Well, maybe you start small and hire a few more people just to help with the diner overall, and then once business increases, you can think about a manager.
Yeah, maybe.
Flip the last. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say she'd flip the last card, but you were gonna say something, so.
She kind of. I don't mean to come off dismissive or anything, but everything that you just told me were things that I could look in a mirror and see.
True. You can, and really, I was going easy on here. I can definitely do something more if you'd like me to. I'll read your tea leaves in a moment. Let me finish this though, because I'm sensing, and she'll flip the final card, which is the Wheel of Fortune. There is changes coming, definitely. A new phase. This signifies a destiny. Like there is a destiny in store for you. You may not see it yet, but it will happen. It is part. Go ahead. I was going to say, this is all part, everything that's going on is all part of a larger fated journey, but kind of have to survive it to get there. So.
Well, and as you look up from the card, please give me a composure resolve.
Okay. Three successes.
You managed to kind of not allow yourself to be startled. As you look up, a mild premonition seems to kind of just flash for a moment. You see a silhouette wrapping around Cheryl from behind and three eyes staring at you, and then vanishes almost as quickly as it appeared.
I think you're being influenced by something not quite of this world, honestly. And I think it may be connected to your aunt somehow.
Aliens? I'm being influenced by aliens. They going into my house in the middle of the night and whisking me away.
No. It depends on what you consider alien, I suppose, but not people who are in spaceships that come down. More spiritual based. If you'd like, I can look into it and bring you more information.
If you can make sense of that, that'd be great.
I will. I'll look into it.
Why do you have this? Because what you just read to me sounded like everything was on the up and up. Where's this all of a sudden?
I saw something. Sometimes the things I see don't necessarily go with the cards, per se. But it seems like something is hanging over your shoulder.
I don't think what you are looking for is a spirit or anything on that line. My cousin's a bit draining, but he's not some otherworldly thing. He's just an inconsiderate fool.
Really? When was the last time you saw him? No, I don't mean before he came back.
He went to some school, and I want to say somewhere in Europe, probably France, maybe. He got there on scholarship. He was there for a couple years, and we just quit hearing from him. As far as we know, we'd never got any information as to whether he completed a degree or anything. But then my aunt fell ill, and suddenly he's back. He visits her almost every night.
Have you noticed any changes from your aunt after he visits?
She seems happy.
Did the humming start when he started visiting her?
I'm sorry?
Did the humming, you said she hums when she's feeling strong enough. Does she tend to hum more like after he visits?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I assume it's her kid. I'm assuming it makes her happy to see him. So I don't get in the way, but
I understand. I will say that there are people in this world that can carry energies around them that drain others.
I think it's mostly just the inconsideration. He just wants me. He only comes at night, and he wants me to leave the door open so that he can get in. So I had to give him a key, and that stresses me out because he's irresponsible, and now I'm waking up feeling tired every day.
Really?
He's just inconsiderate.
He sounds so. Perhaps you should lay some boundaries down with him.
I tried. He just does whatever he wants. And I can't really tell him no because she gets upset, and I'm trying not to cause her too much stress, and I don't know how much time she's got left, and the only thing she wants is to see her kid. I don't know. I'm just having difficulty navigating that. I'm just tired.
Well, I totally understand if you don't take much of this into consideration, wave the cards. But if you just want someone to talk to, you can just come visit. I don't think you have that in your life, from the sounds of it.
No, not really. Between the diner and taking care of her and making sure that no one's breaking into my house in the middle of the night, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time to myself.
Have you had break-ins?
No, I'm just afraid that he's going to forget the keys somewhere. Someone's going to pick him up and walk in with no issue.
Have you considered possibly getting a security system? if you're worried about that, that might take a relief off of you.
I thought about that, but then I thought he'll just trip it when he comes in. When he does go to visit her, and it's going to wake me up when I need sleep.
Fair.
I'm figuring it out. There's clearly something I just need to make work, and I haven't found it yet.
Let me think on it. I might have some ideas in a few days.
I appreciate that, but I'm not trying to burden you with my troubles. I do appreciate just coming in here to talk.
Well, if you do ever just want to come and talk, you're welcome.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It really is a nice place.
Thank you. My sister, Ophelia, she's a hard sister, honestly. She's really done a lot to help build the business.
She wasn't with you last time you came to visit.
No, she likes to look after the shop a lot, so sometimes I will head off alone while she's looking after the shop, but we're really close.
That's nice. I didn't have any siblings growing up, so I didn't have anything like that, but it's a really cool thing.
I didn't either, honestly. Sometimes I kind of wish I did. Would have been nice to have someone to rely on. And
yeah.
I'm really glad that I found Ophelia. She's almost like a part of me that was missing.
It's very sweet.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel a weird connection with you, and if you just want to talk, I'll be here.
I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do, unfortunately, have to go. He should be arriving at the house pretty soon, and I just want to make sure it gets locked up behind him.
I understand.
But thank you. I will be visiting again.
Excellent.
She gets up. She kind of smiles and kind of does a little dismissing wave as she turns and leaves. What is on Bellatrix's mind as you hear the door close behind them?
Gonna have to do something about the cousin. He's a problem. Pretty much thinking he's the salubri, and he's getting in the way of my plans. I don't like that.
Okay. As you pack up your tarot reading and continue with your errands for the evening, we will go a couple blocks over to the fully restored Books and Bourbon. Sophie, what are we doing this evening?
Tonight there is a charity function being hosted by the owner of Books and Bourbon. You can see there are tables laid out with fancy white tablecloths, very expensive steak dinners. There are some prominent members of the government that are also attending. And Sophie has just finished up her set.
After you get done with your set, you step down. And immediately you are approached by Bridget. She comes up and she's wearing kind of like a plain kind of looking pantsuit. She's got her hair kind of pulled back into a tight bun. She's got these kind of like thin, kind of narrow frame glasses, and she stumbles a little bit as she approaches, but then catches herself barely noticeable by anybody present as she closes the distance. That sounded great. How you doing? Do you need anything?
Oh, thank you, Bridget. This was wonderful. I love your new cheaters. They're quite becoming on you.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to say everything is going pretty smoothly so far. There are plenty of people that going about signing the documents in regard to making donations and pledges. This seems to be going off pretty well. Do you need anything? Was this a bad venue? Should we have picked something else?
Oh, this is, I think having it in the moment will make people much more likely to donate. So I think it was a good choice, Bridget.
Okay. You see she keeps occasionally like looking down, checking her phone, putting it back in her bag. Okay, so I do have a couple of things. Some of the furniture that we rented, we are going to have to, the trucks will be coming in roughly an hour after everything's cleaned up. Do you have anything do you already have the deposit prepared to go toward everything? Otherwise, you might be stuck with the furniture for a couple of days. They should have asked for it beforehand, but they're a little wonky with some of the paperwork.
Yes, it's in the cash box. I can prepare it, but I don't mind if it's a few days. I mean, it's your place, so whenever you want the official opening, that's for you.
Fair enough. She checks her phone again, puts it away.
How is Chadwick doing?
Well, Chadwick, he's I love him, bless his heart, but he's just throwing money away.
Well, boys will be boys.
Maybe a little less would be nice. But yeah, we're managing. He started doing content creation, and
like writing or composure, like.
No, he sits in his room and plays video games all day.
Oh, video games. Games
Mm-hmm.
with videos.
Yep. Like books, but they rot your brain.
Well, perhaps if he's quite good at it, perhaps he can get the word out more for some of these charities. Especially having someone like him at the forefront of mental health awareness for men would be wonderful, because Bridget, I mean, you and I have done a good job here, but it is difficult to represent men when we aren't one.
Correct. Fortunately, we were able to get a couple of guest speakers, but I do see your point. I think I don't know. I know that there are some people who do well with what he's doing, but it's been 2 months, and as far as I'm aware, he has a following of about 4 people, and they're the people he plays with. So I don't... see that going anywhere anytime soon. But if he is going to move into content creation, maybe we can guide him in some way. Maybe it can turn into something useful. I'll consider that. Thank you. That's very optimistic. Outside of that, she kind of pushes past everything and kind of gets a little closer. How are you doing? I know we've been working to set this up, but I know you've not been in town for very long. Are you doing okay?
Yes, it was a bit traumatic with the incident. Yes. But I do hope that we won't have that issue again. I've tried to only show the more broad-ranging books that we have, and there's a more private selection when asked for.
Okay. Yeah. So you're doing okay then?
Yes. I just, it can be rough. The idea of someone coming in and just taking. It is difficult.
Yeah.
It weighs on you.
Sure. Do you need some time off? You didn't have to come perform tonight. I mean, I'd understand.
Oh, no. Performing for me really takes my mind off of traumatic events, things that really put me into a deep hole. Singing helps me out of that, so really, it's no problem at all. And the sooner we can have the grand opening, the better, to get my mind off of things and show the community that we aren't afraid to be open and have our books.
I think that's very brave of you. And again, I think you sounded absolutely. And before she can finish the statement, her phone starts ringing or pings again. She looks down. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. If you'll excuse me one moment, I have to take this. And she steps away. She puts the phone to her ear. After a moment, you feel someone kind of step up next to you. Well, your little event here is going marvelously. As you hear Duncan speak to you.
Yes, well, it's as much of a turnout as you can expect with such a controversial topic.
Well, at least some more of your fans are coming in. So it shouldn't be long before you're back up and running.
Yes. Yes, it should be quite nice. Things are going a little bit back to as normal as they can be, I suppose.
Do you need anything from me?
I did need a little bit of help on my application, actually. It's so confusing. I've many of them are supposed to be on the computer, and I just, I'm used to the days with just paper and pen.
I'm afraid I'm not in a much better boat than you, but I can do a little bit. I could probably help you with that.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
If it's just an application, if you're asking me to do anything more complicated than that, then I'm afraid we'll be stuck in the middle of a lake without a paddle.
Well, that did actually happen to me once, as a kid. But everything worked out.
That's fortunate. I must admit there's something else I did come in here to talk to you about. If you have a moment, can we speak privately?
Well, yes, of course. And
I
she'll
will
kind
let you back to your fans in just a few moments.
of, she'll lead Duncan up into the hall toward the stairs that goes up to her, loft studio room.
When you guys head up there, I don't know what you saw during the catastrophe that was that exchange, but our grandsire was there.
Oh, that's not very good, is it?
He's looking for him.
You know, I have heard that many old kindred have felt a desire to travel and to leave cities like this one. That could we could just say that.
Maybe. My concern is if that's the case, why didn't he? I don't know much about it. We might be able to do that, but he is looking for us so he can try to find him. They wouldn't let him talk to me very much while they had me in their custody, but I could feel him trying to probe around. I think he suspects something.
Do you think I mean, do we have can we look into minds like that? Could he look in and see?
Some are strong enough. And if the stories are correct, he is a strong one. He hasn't met you personally in any effect. The only thing he might know is probably your name.
Well, I don't know who he had take me in Chicago. They were quite strong though. They told me to sleep until the rabbits, and then I couldn't do anything. It just happened. So I don't know if perhaps our grandsire helped transport me, but I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to try to see if I can find him again. Maybe I can get him to look up somewhere else, or maybe I can get him to believe the story about
Duncan,
him fucking off. Yeah.
you should not go on another suicide mission. You're being a tad a bit of a dunce.
I don't think he intends to kill me. I think he wants to know what happened to his childer.
That's like walking into the wolf's den. You can't just go after him and put yourself at risk like that.
If I don't want him to connect you to what happened. Best case scenario, I convince him that he left.
Worst case, he just destroys you on the spot because he is annoyed at anything.
And then I pay for my crime and you don't.
You should just, I don't know, get out of here, and then that it's not an issue. It's not a problem. You should go to Newport.
If I go, that just leaves him looking around for one of us here where you are. And if he gets a hold of you,
If he finds me and if he looks into my mind, nothing will happen because you'll be safe and you'll be gone.
you think that's how that will work?
Yes.
Sophie, sit down. Please give me a manipulation. No, sorry, not manipulation. I have to look up the roll again. I think it's intelligence. Yeah, intelligence resolve.
Four successes.
You feel the need to kind of, you almost do exactly as you're told, but you can tell what's happening and you manage to, it takes a lot, but you manage to shake it off. And he kind of sits there for a moment, and you see a moment there's a moment where he seems very impressed, like, oh wow, she didn't sit down. But then that didn't exactly help my point, but he is much stronger than I am.
You swore you would never do that to me.
He won't hesitate. And I almost got you then. He is much more powerful than I am.
I've had a lot of practice with our sire.
I'll
be okay. I'll be okay. I need you to be safe, though. I need you to be in a place that he won't be able to find you. stronger than you think I am.
I don't think you're weak. I just know how strong he is. If you weren't as strong as you were, we wouldn't have gotten out of that situation. But I cannot deny the likelihood of how that will play out. And I want you to be aware of that. It's not that I think you're weak. I just know the gap here. I've
Well,
met them.
There is strength in numbers, and I'll be with my new coterie, and I don't think he could just walk up and destroy Kindred. That's not how our society works. Or if he did, there would be a lot of consequences, but then you would still be safe and you would be alright.
Do you trust them?
I'm beginning to trust some of them, yes. I have some concerns about Grei, which, I mean, I know the way that you look at him, but there are some nervous aspects about him, which you should think about as well.
I didn't even say anything.
Perhaps another reason why maybe you should leave town.
I should leave town because I think your friend is cute.
Because he seems like he could be dangerous.
Noted. But I'm not leaving town without you. And if you're going to stay, this is where I stay. I won't go and confront them. I'll stay hidden. If you trust this coterie, then stay near them. And if you see anything that looks a little too familiar, find them.
Yes, well, I should powder my nose and then go back and mingle. And you should think about your plan. That was very silly, and you should stay safe.
I will consider that. I will leave you to your followers. And he kind of smiles warmly. Sorry?
I said thank you. And
He closed.
I'll hug him.
He hugs you back. He turns and he leaves, closing the door behind him. What's on Sophie's mind?
Sophie is scared for Duncan. A little less scared for herself, but mostly concerned that this is another threat that could harm someone that she cares very much about. So she is going to try to do everything she can to prevent that from happening.
As you finish kind of preparing yourself and you make your way downstairs, as soon as you enter the main area again, Bridget is right there. Oh, thank God I found you. I have to go. Chadwick accidentally set fire to the stove making pizza rolls. Can you handle, there's like 30-40 minutes of this event left. Can you handle that?
Yes, of course, Bridget.
You are a lifesaver.
Yes,
Thank
so
you.
are you of those roles. So
Oh,
I'll take care of everything.
thank you so much. Love you. And she turns and leaves. As you are left to manage the rest of this, it goes pretty smoothly. Everything's kind of winding down. It was a great success. You move into the cleanup stage, and we will then shift scenes. What is Grei up to this evening?
Grei is kind of waiting at the ascent, expecting to meet Maggie. He's gonna move about the room, adjust things, take a step back, readjust things, make sure everything is in its place and proper, and step back, take a look at it from doorway, and make his way back over to the couch, have a seat, put his feet up, kind of adjust his coat and his gloves.
Okay. Maggie would arrive a little bit later. Kind of tugging her sleeves down and looking around, then her stare will land on him and she'll give a nod and that kind of polite white person smile.
We will smile very broadly. Miss Haywood can I call you Maggie?
Yes, you may call me Maggie. If
Yeah.
I may call you Grei.
You can call me whatever you want, honestly.
Grei seems fine.
For now. I want to
What?
formally welcome you. The other night it was rushed and, well, you also said a few things that I wanted to chat about.
Alright. She kind of gestures to the couch. May I join you?
Absolutely.
Thank you. She'll sit down with him.
So, you said something about haunting.
Yes.
I'm curious as to your intentions.
It depends on the specter.
Seems like a vicious word, respect. I mean, aren't they just people?
No. They were people.
You and I are going to have to disagree on that.
Do you have experience with specters? Grei.
Some. Probably not as much as you.
What kind of experience do you have with them?
I know where it is they go. And I know what happens to them. And I know what we all think happens to them.
Where do you think they go?
Hell.
Do you believe that is the only option for things that are more than us?
More than us? Interesting choice of words.
Many humans, their souls are diverse. They have the end result of where they may be able to go are much more varied than where we may be able to go. I would say them just going to hell is a very simplified view of the possibilities.
Every afterlife is hell.
Why do you believe that?
Because there's no freedom.
Why do you believe that?
Who chooses where you go? What gets
Do
you
you
sent
not-
to an afterlife?
Do you not believe that hell is the result of choices made in life?
Oh no, hell is just one of many prisons.
Do you believe life is hell?
Of course not. This is the only place we're free. This is the only place they get to be free.
Do you think they are free?
Not as they should be. But I have reason to believe that you could change that.
What do you think they should be?
Whole. Pale. Remaining with us.
Why?
Death is a punishment.
Death is a step into a new existence.
One in which all of your freedom is stripped away, and you are bound into an afterlife of something else's choosing.
What do you think we are? Death is a step of what we are.
Now that is a complicated answer.
Death is always complicated.
We're vessels, Maggie. Vessels for greatness.
And do you not
Some of
believe
us
that
have
this
yet
is
to embrace it.
Do you not believe that this is a chance of being reborn into a different kind of existence?
There is rebirth, but it is difficult. And a soul has to escape from that afterlife in order to have it. Better that they never have to go through that. That they stay here.
So you
Perhaps.
believe in stagnation?
No. I believe that we need to empty those afterlives. They need to be freed.
You believe the only freedom is here.
That's what this world, this place, this space was made for. That's why it is incumbent upon us to make it beautiful. Because it is ours, and it is where freedom lives.
Do you think they do not deserve peace after such endurance of this life?
I think what you call peace, I call hell. And I would not condemn them to that. Not in the slightest. That's why I don't care what the others do with the information you gave them. I don't care about the spirits that they may have attached to them. The ones who are with me, they don't need to move on. They need new bodies.
You are aware of the ones that are attached to you, that they are shades. That they wrap around you like that you are their possession.
I've been owned by many. I'll be owned by many in the future. I will own many.
And you consider yourself free?
That I did not. But then I met an angel.
Do you believe
opened-
being owned by an angel is freedom?
No, he opened my eyes. He showed me the truth.
What
I
is
don't
your
want-
faith?
I don't want to bore you with religion, but
I'm not bored. You intrigue me, Grei. So tell me, what is your faith?
you know about Michael.
What is this angel? Michael. One of the Toreador progenitors.
Not just Toreador, not just progenitor. Michael was a saint, transubstantiated angel. Could barely touch the earth for as powerful as he was.
Oh, the dream.
Worldwide.
I heard that was a idea that flourished here. Wasn't aware that it came with the faith.
There are faithful. There are people who will believe in many things. There are a few people who will believe in truth. This city was founded by the hands of Michael.
I see. And you believe that beauty comes from such dark passions.
Beauty takes many forms. There's beauty in darkness. There's beauty in light. There's beauty in being blind. And there's beauty in seeking.
It sounds like you are defining what beauty is and crafting what you believe this will be. You are seeking a reason to hold on to these specters. And it's understandable. Not every specter has to leave. But there is a certain amount of danger to keeping them. And there's a certain amount of responsibility to keeping them. And you need to have your own will so they don't keep you.
I don't think they would be like that.
I understand the thought. But that may not be the reality. She'll blink and activate the binding fetter again and look at him.
When she does that, I'm going to activate Sense the Unseen.
Okay. Give me what's an Oblivion and what's an Aspects.
door as well.
Grei, you activate your sight and you kind of look around, take a glance. You don't spot anything immediately peculiar, but then at a certain point, you look down and it almost seems like there is a little bit of steam seeming to kind of emanate from you. Almost like heat waves just off the surface of your skin. Maggie, when you are looking, you see the same three shapes, but two of them seem to be on the furniture he's sitting at. It's almost like two of these shapes are kind of kneeled down at his sides, kind of grasping at his arms. And the other one seems to be kind of like almost like leaning down with the elbows on his shoulder with the hands kind of clasped to his chest. Almost as if they are almost subserviently.
Okay. They still don't have, like, faces?
No discernible features.
Okay. She will deactivate it so she can look at him properly. I'm not going to make you get rid of them.
Thank you.
But I'm going to keep an eye on them. If they get violent, it may become necessary.
Only one had any sort of tendencies toward violence. And there was very good reason at the time.
I'm sure there was. And I'm sure they were peaceful people before they died.
They were beautiful people.
But Oblivion does things to specters. It strips them. And as fond as they are of you right now, there is always a limit. But I won't take them from you.
I heard stories about here, the city. The dead walked.
I have heard about those too.
Can you make that happen?
I don't believe so. And if I could, I wouldn't.
Not for anything.
There is nothing that could make me want to.
Why?
Because they would hate you for it.
I don't think they would.
Your belief is not fact.
It's not
And
my
death
belief.
changes people. May I show you something, Grei?
Sure.
She'll kind of pull back her sleeve, show off a ring on her finger. You know what this is?
It's pretty.
Coral. If you go out into the water and you're held under long enough, the pressure will crush you. But if you manage and you survive, you pull yourself out, you can be reborn. You speak of your own awakening, I speak of mine. I didn't come out the same. I don't believe you did either. I will respect your faith, and I will not be rid of your companions. But you need to be aware of the danger. If it's not from them, it may be from others they may attract. You may attract.
Have you given up on love?
I don't understand the relevance.
You don't think it's powerful?
I think love is a powerful motivator.
You don't think it's a force?
No.
The very essence of beauty is love.
Is that what you think is keeping them here? Love.
Yes.
And what do you believe this love can be warped by?
Nothing. Love is beauty, and beauty cannot be warped. Love endures everything. Love is the one thing that Michael brought all of us. Is the one thing we should aspire to.
Do you believe this ownership that people hold over you is a form of that love?
For some, it is difficult for them to know truly what it is. For some, they have to own and must possess.
Do you feel loved? Or do you feel owned?
I have always felt love. Even before my eyes were open. Even before I knew who gifted it to me.
See. One of these days, you and I should go to the beach. I would like to show you something.
I would like that. It's going to happen again. There will be a fourth.
Do you plan on making them?
Nothing ever lasts forever.
Why? Are you
As
making
we-
them, I mean?
I don't make them. I just love them.
Then why do you seem to want to attract them?
It's not like that. It's not like I attract. There is a feeling that you get that is indescribable if you've given up on love and you don't ascribe to it. It is everything.
What I view of love and what you view of love are very different perceptions. And it is an intimate feeling that I do not feel completely comfortable explaining. But it is not your definition. To love something is to be able to let it go.
To love something is to hold it in your heart forever.
The memory. She kind of pokes the center of his chest. You are full of memories. You are a walking gravestone.
There are worse things to be.
But what is left of you if you are carving names into yourself to be a monument?
You say carving as if it is taking away, as if it is cutting from me. Every one of them has given me more, just for being in my life.
The more you take, the less that you become of your own.
The more you become what you were meant to be.
I never perceived you as someone that didn't like themselves.
When you don't have a choice, sometimes you don't like how you turn out.
Is that why you have decided to become something for everyone? Making beauty. What do you find beautiful? You've given me vagaries.
this world. All of its horror and all of its joy.
Again, vagaries.
It's beautiful because it belongs to us. Because it's given to us to make it something more.
It is beautiful because it is owned.
It is beautiful because it is clay. And then we can shape it into whatever we want. This world is art. This world is beauty. And death is the punishment that takes us away from it.
Death is a part of the cycle. It is necessary.
We're going to have to agree to disagree. Death is an evil to be conquered.
Put your fingers to your pulse and tell me what you feel.
Nothing.
And you consider yourself to be alive.
Because I know love.
Knowing love does not make someone alive.
Spoken by someone who has given up on it. Who never understood it in the first place.
Your perception of love.
At this moment, Grei, your phone buzzes.
A moment. Take a look.
It's from Victor. What the fuck have you done?
We're going to have to postpone this. Like I said, nothing lasts forever.
You just kind of... It was a good conversation. We should have another sometime.
Maybe on the beach.
Yes. I hope you know how to swim.
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Text back. Baby, what are you talking about?
I know you visited Herschel. We need to talk.
Lean over, kiss Maggie on the cheek, kiss Maggie on the other cheek, and make my way out, dialing him as I go.
What is on Maggie's mind as Grei rushes out the door?
He's a zealot. But she can work with a zealot. Faith is easy to anticipate sometimes. But she thinks he's interesting.
And what is on Grei's mind as the phone rings?
It should be easy enough to smooth things over. It's a social call. It's not like I was cheating.
The phone doesn't take long before he answers. Explain yourself.
Victor. Let me start with, Herschel wasn't who I expected. But when I found out who he was, you did tell me that I could introduce myself to your friends.
I told you that I would introduce you to my friends.
We talked about your career.
Did you talk
Yes.
about my career?
I did. He did. We both did. We talked about how talented you are.
You overstepped.
I did. And you can hate me for it. Or you can trust me. I did this for you.
You can either give me a charisma or persuasion or a manipulation and subterfuge, depending on how you think Grei is handling the situation. I want you to let me know what you choose.
I don't think he's lying in this case. I don't think. Not to Victor. Not at this point. He is talented. He needs to do better.
Give me the roll.
Four success. This is for you.
While I can appreciate the sentiment, you crossed the line, Grei.
Am I going to get punished for it?
Severely.
Do you promise?
I'll see you soon. And he hangs up the phone.
Put the phone away.
As you go on to the next thing, we shift back to the ascent. But before everybody returns, one of you get there first. Matt, what are we doing this evening?
Matt had just left the studio, feeling a little better. And he decides he's just going to go check in with everyone. And when he gets there, he looks around, starts to notice things. I'm assuming somewhere is some of Nick's paperwork from his conspiracy wall and everything. He doesn't say a word. He just nods, picks it up, walks into the bathroom, tosses it into the shower, turns on the water, and walks away. Walks out of there, wanders around looking, spots the DVDs that Nick had gotten him, takes one out, looks at it, snaps it in half. Oops. Takes the rest and just throws it in the trash. Eyes the box of cigars he had gotten for Nick. Picks one up, grabs the cutter, goes to snip off the end of it, proceeds to slide it down halfway into the cigar and cuts it in half. Oops. Butterfingers. I am a mess today. What am I going to do? Oh, I should clean this up. Walks over with the rest of the cigars. Stands by the sink. Flips on the waste disposal. Turns on the water. And proceeds to daintily and carefully drop each one down the drain. Smiling as it makes the most horrific grinding sound imaginable. It's not enough. It's not enough. Wish Maggie was here. See if he's standing around so I can tell him what a cowardly piece of shit he is. Oh well. Nick, if you're there, fuck you. I hope you're burning somewhere in hell. Thanks. Huh. I should see about buying his place. Yeah. I'll buy his place. Shut it down. No. Do I demolish it or do I just renovate it? Make it something tacky as hell. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Then he'll just lay back on the chaise and contemplate what he could possibly do to erase this man from his existence entirely. Oh, I should probably let Carmen know I'll be back at some point in time to finish that. She knows. What were those guys drinking tonight? Whew. That sip was a little something. I don't know. Ooh. Then he'll just grab the ring that's around his neck. It is a silver wire neck, just ring that looks like it's twisted into the shape of a flower. And he'll just start staring off into space.
I went to unmute and accidentally muted myself. All right. As you're taking this moment, kind of relaxing, but also semi-processing, the thought keeps coming to the surface. That article that you saw when you were at Carmen's place. It's one thing if it were one spot, maybe two. But this person is claiming almost every significant job in your career, even your name. Ooh. do something like that? Who would have the information to do something like that?
I don't get it. It has to be somebody from New York, because that's the only way. That's the... God, Elena's gonna be pissed if she finds out about this. It has to be somebody from New York. It's the only time I ever went by that name. But it's before that. It's after that. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
You start trying to think about people in your past. But who would be willing to go through all this effort to just ruin you in some capacity? Who has the gall to try to ruin your life?
He's going to be sitting there just thinking, trying to connect everything. And then he's just going to jerk up suddenly. Oh, it better not be you, you son of a bitch. I will kill you. Oh. If it's you, I want to know how the hell you found me.
You remember the comforting faces he used to give you before the smug grin the last time you see him. And then his name springs to the front of your mind.
Oh, Louis, you piece of shit. Oh, I'm going to enjoy squeezing the life out of you.
Maybe this is how you move on. The only other person who ruined your life even close to what Nick did has the gall to show their face again.
I ain't done with you, Nick. But right now, right now I got bigger problems to deal with.
And with that, we'll go to break. Thanks for tagging along so far, everyone, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors: Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Farrah the Bard, Champs Tramps, Pantry Artista, Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpbynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You can find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow St. P by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. P by Night. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/St. P by Night to help keep the stories rolling.
Welcome back, everybody. So, last we left off, everybody had just finished dealing with their personal business. And after a little bit of redecorating, everyone will come back together at the ascent. Everybody kind of steps in one by one until finally, with Grei being the last, everyone is present.
Grei will kind of take a look around the room.
Does
Note
it
the
smell weird here?
kind of look over at Matt. Not say anything. Look over where the cigars used to be. Not
Yeah.
say anything.
I'll go flop on one of the couches. So, how's everyone been? Good to see you, Matt.
I've
He
been
doesn't
well.
even he doesn't even look at Bella, and he just goes, "Hi, Bella."
I stopped by to see you, Matt, but you weren't accepting calls.
I did too. I texted a few times too.
Oh, sorry, I had business to attend to. Family business. You understand, Grei, right?
Of course. Do you you want to talk later? Maybe.
I may just talk out loud for the hell of it.
Could talk now too, if you feel comfortable.
No, I'll be fine. So, what's up?
I mean, group therapy is always a good thing.
Sometimes, look to Bella. Someone has to be ready for that. Don't push.
True.
Mr. Halden, after we have our group conversation, I would like to speak with you alone as well.
Apparently I'm very popular lately. Sure.
Isn't that your family thing anyways? You're the popular ones.
Yeah, it's a burden.
We all have burdens. So, she'll cut her eyes at Matt again. Maybe to prevent things that happened recently from happening again, does anyone have any deep, dark secrets that could hurt all of us? Such as, you know, having hunters that you invite into your coteries, places where they stay, or anything else like that.
Well, I'm not going to say I don't have secrets, but nothing to that extent, certainly.
I don't believe I thoroughly vetted Dr. Corwin before I him.
Excellent.
Matt will look up. No.
Kind of look over towards Sophie, who hasn't said anything yet.
Bella, I must be honest with you and everyone else here. This image that Maggie has investigated that appears like me but older with a scar. Apparently it is maybe perhaps could be violent in nature. So we may wish to ward this place, or if you all decide that I should stay at Books and Bourbon and not frequent here, I can also accommodate that based on the severity of my hunting.
To look towards Maggie. So, how bad is it?
It seems to be progressing toward a sort of violence. It blew out the lights when I started drawing it. But it didn't specifically harm anyone or attempt possession. I am learning something that might be able to get rid of it, but we would need someone that would be able to fight, and I am not particularly skilled in that area.
Fortunately, I don't think any of us are skilled in that area. Well, do you think that because you were paying attention to it or actively poking at it, it's caused it to be violent? Or do you think this is just going to continue?
I think the way that it was hovering around Miss Clews, it would have eventually reached this sort of pinnacle of violence. But I am fairly certain that my perception of it did not please it.
What would it take to ward the...
No,
Sorry.
that's not happening. I'm sorry. Look over at Bella. When she says, what would it take to ward? No.
Okay. Why?
Yes, my thoughts exactly why.
Respecting Maggie's professional opinion, they don't necessarily have to be violent.
He has shades attached to him that he enjoys.
That makes more sense. Well, what does everybody think of for now? We just maybe not watch the spirit, but keep an eye out for any suspicious activity that Sophie's spirit is acting up, and just be aware of it. While in the meantime, I guess we look for someone who could fight, since warding is out of the question.
There is another thing as well. One of those fellows from Chicago, when they took Duncan after he was looking into it for Edwin Kane. Apparently he is interested in perhaps hurting Duncan. So that's just something to keep in mind. We're not sure if he knows of me, but he has an interest in Duncan that may impact me in the future. I figured I should let you know.
Do you know anything about this particular kindred? Did he even get away?
I was not in the thick of it. I helped Duncan leave, so I don't know what happened during the ordeal.
I will say in this moment, Grei, Matt, the two of you saw an individual, an older gentleman wearing an orange kind of sports jacket, specifically asked about a name, Sophie. Bellatrix, you remember seeing this guy being held at gunpoint by William Beaumont as you came in and retrieved Hodges. He did not leave with you. As far as you are aware, he was left in the building as the sun was rising.
Not sure if Beaumont killed him. I think I left before then.
You were asked about specifically.
I'd completely forgotten about that, honestly.
That's
I hadn't.
understandable.
Just didn't think it was necessary to pass it along till now.
When I did enter the warehouse, there was an individual orange jacket that Beaumont was holding at gunpoint, but I don't know if he got shot or not. He didn't leave the building, from what I saw before the sun came up.
Well, I guess we shall just work under the presumption at the moment that he is not a problem until he potentially becomes one.
Well, you can ask about him. The Belmonts have called in the favor that I owe them. So, currently in talks with them.
Oh, and Matthew, this is for you. And she hands you what looks like a small, thin package.
Thank you. And he'll take it.
But yes, I don't want to alarm you as much. I don't think it will be much of an issue. But I wanted to be open and honest with you as you have opened your home to me, as it were.
Well, you did put yourself at considerable risk for people that you ventured to trust. It's only right that we return the favor.
Besides, you're part of our happy little group now.
Yes, and now that the weakest link is gone, it should be much easier to protect the people we care about.
Not really. What's the word? Not really a problem, but it could be something that affects us. I have been named Whip of Clan Malkavian by Charlie.
Oh, look at you.
Congratulations.
I don't
Thanks.
think it means what you think it means, Grei, so relax.
No, I'm quite well aware of what it means. And congratulations, Bella.
Thanks. It just means to me some more responsibilities, but she wanted some help, so I agreed. That means, Sophie, if you need any help, you can come to me. I'll glance at Grei as I'm passing over a look and just raise an eyebrow and move on.
So does that mean you get to lord your new status over us?
I didn't plan on it.
Maybe you.
I mean, if
I
you want
worked on it.
if you want me to, I could buy a whip, I suppose, and just like stand over you. And
Now you're speaking my language.
I know.
But is that going to take you away from potentially anything that Edwin might have for us?
Possibly, I will try to balance them both. And I'll attempt to be open with everybody about it.
As much as you can, given politics and all.
Right.
Some things we don't need to know.
I mean, I just might say whip business. Which
You should get an actual whip.
I know. It would look cool, wouldn't it? Like I could put it on my side.
At least we'd be able to get Grei to pay attention.
I mean, close quarters, a riding crop would be much better, but a whip for now.
Nice, nice. Is the painting changed already?
The painting that he did,
Yeah.
it's at the studio, but he's
Okay.
already, yeah.
Okay.
It's off the walls here.
Right.
Are you dissatisfied with the art? Not to the empty spot on the wall.
It was too ugly for my tastes. It needed touched up.
There was a pretty big flaw in it, after all.
It's much better now.
I'd love to see it.
Come to the studio. I'll show you.
Are you accepting visitors?
Oh, business is booming now.
You have a
Oh,
studio.
glad to hear that.
Yes. Not too far, but I've started offering night classes. And I just did a sip and paint, actually, and that went over fairly well. I have to thank Carmen for it. Oh, that reminds me, Mr. Novak. My favorite Rose in the city has told me to tell you you no longer have any excuse to not visit. She is now down the road. You can walk your ass down there and visit her.
Oh, she moved her location.
Yes, and you will get to see a Halden original once it's complete. Several, actually.
I hope you got paid well for that.
It was an exchange. We bartered. I got people drunk at my sip and paint. She asked me to paint her walls because they were atrocities on the eyes, and I would not have let anybody else but me do that.
Sounds to me like she got the better end of that deal.
Mm-hmm. Like, you didn't even get paid money at the very least. Like, isn't she rich because she has all those people coming in thanks to her great powers?
I don't need money. I got something much better out of it. So I'd say we broke even on that one.
No. You can't leave it there.
Sound-
What did you get?
Sounds like you got paid in exposure.
In a way, you could say yes, as dirty as that makes me feel. I did, in a way, get paid in exposure. People arrived. I mingled, made friends, saw some others like us who painted some rather interesting stuff away from the rest. One woman who is very damn good with watercolors. Well, I made some friends along the way.
You got paid in friends. Matt, I could have found you friends for free.
No, I'm good, thanks. These were... how do I say it? They helped with a little bit of the closure. Something I needed.
See.
Oh, you got drunk.
Oh,
Grei could help with that too.
well, yes, I know, but I have to do these things myself sometimes.
It's fair, but she is driven by exchange. And I hate to think that you were manipulated.
Oh no, I practically threw myself at the offer of my own free will before she even said anything. As a matter of fact, I was just about to offer an exchange when she made the proposition. So, and she's family. I mean, if you can't trust family, Grei.
Speaking of that, I think I might need your help. Not necessarily in the same way, but similarly.
No exposure or throwing yourself at his feet?
Oh, I'm sure Grei would love to expose himself.
If only Matt would ask. No, but I need a filmmaker. I need someone who's very, very good with film. You don't happen to know anyone?
Like photography? Or do you mean...
Not photography, otherwise I'd go to Victor. I mean moving pictures. Victor is good with photography, not so much moving pictures. And he's making a change to his art anyway, so he's working through a few things.
Good, because the idea of him making those kind of films, no.
Oh. No. I see where you thought that was going. No, I think Victor might be seeing the light soon. So we'll see how that works out. But our tour that I need has to be able to really make a moving image come to life.
Well, sadly, nothing in my wheelhouse or circle of friends fit that description, but if I hear something, I will be sure to let you know.
I have a slightly wider reach on different people. Maybe I can look into someone.
Oh, absolutely. I would be interested. It doesn't have to just come from Matt.
Are you looking for our kind, or can kind work?
I'm looking for someone with talent. I don't care what their background is.
I'll look into it.
Mr. Novak, when you say he will see the light soon, you don't intend to introduce him to the sun, you?
No. Oh, heavens, no. Why would I want something like that happen to Victor?
I'm just clarifying.
That's heart-wrenching. No, of course not. He's gone through a very dark period in his art, and I think given the disaster at the gallery and the changes that have happened in his life since, he's almost ready to make a change in his style.
And beliefs.
What was that, Bella?
Nothing.
No. I don't think he's come that way. I do think he's starting to open up.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing. I didn't really prefer his art in the first place, so perhaps this one will be better.
I know that the two of you still have misgivings, so between Bella and Matt, but Victor is really just misunderstood.
Is this your boyfriend?
Yes.
One of them.
One of them, yes. But he's special.
Is he special like the ones that follow you?
He makes a pulse where there is none, Maggie.
Ah.
So
You're in
yes.
love.
Yes, I suppose I might as well get that out there. I've seen parts of Victor that you haven't. And I want you to stop considering him a threat. To me, or to you, or to really anyone else.
Okay.
Especially given the fact that you now have real political power here. He's not snubbing the Chimera in any way. He's just a recluse.
Well, how much of that was partially Edwin's manipulations anyways?
Glad you understand.
I'll reserve my judgment. And just look out for you.
My promise to you still stands. If you feel that there's something I'm not seeing, tell me.
I haven't noticed anything. You seem better. So maybe he's not so bad.
I wouldn't have got better without him.
Don't expect me to become friends with him, but I won't be out to get him. I have plenty of other things to worry about.
Give it a few years, maybe. You could soften up.
What did he do?
Nothing, really. I mean, he's an artist with a particular bent towards the macabre, but other than that, he really hasn't done anything.
You've just spent about 5 minutes defending him. I just imagined that he had done something to deserve defense.
Bella took offense at some of his work.
He had childer that he used in his artwork, but they have mysteriously disappeared afterwards.
Not to mention, he basically snubbed my entire family.
As I said, it's because he's a recluse. It's not a snub.
Didn't stop him from inviting others, though.
But have you heard how others have talked about his work? Especially part of the family. They denigrate it at every turn. Who wants to be around that?
How many childer?
I don't know. He usually has... I don't know how many were childer and how many were kind, but he usually uses a model 2 times and then they disappear. At least 1, possibly 2, that I know of.
An interesting art form.
And it wouldn't have hurt Grei to at least have invited. They might have declined, but it's the principle.
I'm working with him on that. I really am. And the next gallery opening that he does We'll make sure the proper people are invited.
Is that not risky to the Masquerade if his models are disappearing?
I mean, people go missing every day, really. And others really don't care. Like I said, we're trying a different method. Moving on from those that are more crude and base to something a bit more refined.
Does he hold galleries frequently?
When the muse strikes him, in a certain way, but the fire was
Definitely warm.
a sign. The fire was a sign. And I am hoping that he takes it in the way that it was intended. If, no, not if, when he does show his work again, the only thing that I would ask is that you give him a fair chance.
He has not offended me. I would just simply like to see his body of work.
Oh, it's on the internet.
Yes, I mean, it's
Oh,
easily findable.
I'll have
Body's
to look.
appropriately named, too.
Will you two at least give him a fair chance? Can I get that much? Please.
If you say he is changing his art, I will accept what you say. So, sure, I will give him the benefit of the doubt.
Grei, for you, I will give it a try. And I mean, I would absolutely love to meet him and talk with him about work. You know, one recluse to another.
Well, if his work makes you wretch, then feel free to say so. But if you feel it's improved, please tell him.
I'll do my best.
At this point, you hear a knock at the door.
Was anyone expecting company?
No.
We're all here.
I was planning on making an appointment later with someone, but I wasn't doing it here.
I'll
Get
get
up
up.
and head to the door.
I'll sit back down.
You open the door, and there's Edwin Kane.
Edwin, I will give him a big hug. Come in, come in.
He kind of got like a half-hearted one arm around the back. Great. Good evening. I hope I'm not intruding, as he stepped inside.
Of course not. Here, you're almost one of the family.
We were just chatting.
He sees everybody present and nods. Looks around. You see he kind of clocks a couple points in the room. Well, I don't mean to take up much of your evening, but I do have something I would like you to take a look at, if you all wouldn't mind.
All right. And if I could have some of your time later, Mr. Kane, there's something I would like to discuss with you.
Certainly. Essentially, we have we have somebody coming from the north side of the city to have a discussion, but there's some concerns about their safety. Essentially, all I am asking is that you guys make sure he gets from point A to point B.
What's the name?
Much to my deep regret, I'm afraid I do not have that name, but I can give it to you as soon as I am permitted to do so.
I see. So, just an escort then?
It is. I'm really dreadfully sorry I don't have more information to give you. What I do have, they seem to be of the Anarchs, but they seem to maybe have some valuable information. They have a cargo that they intend to be moving, and they will be within that cargo. If we can make sure they successfully get here with no issue, then we shouldn't have any problems. The only issue that I foresee is that it looks like they might be in trouble with other members in the area. So we might expect possible incursion from Anarchs. That being said, I also know your general skill set. No offense, but I think it might be a good idea for you to maybe look at maybe hiring someone to assist you in this matter. Of course, I'd be more than happy to front the bill.
We were just discussing the fact that we might need some muscle in the future. So, good timing, I suppose.
Very good timing. Fortuitous. When? And where are we to meet him when we start the escort? Are we to go into Anarch territory?
We have reason to believe that the southernmost barony won't be too much of an issue. We expect the meeting to take place in that territory, group up, and then move down to the neutral zone as quickly as you can. But we do believe that they are coming from Palm Harbor.
And should we account for any entertaining they're going to be doing that we should be doing while they're here? I mean, we should show them what it's like to actually have a functioning society.
Sophie?
Yes, I volunteer to entertain.
I see. I was instructed to make sure they get to the dolly. I was not, however, instructed on how long it should take for them to get there, as long as they get there. Getting from point A to B, I believe, is up to you.
Are they being kept in a box?
As far as I am aware, they will be freely roaming in the back of the truck. They may be in a box, but I've not been told one way or the other.
Well, you know I'm already in. You just had to ask.
I didn't want to necessarily assign this, but I figured I'd ask. I could go elsewhere if you'd rather not, but since you do... and I understand, Bellatrix, if you have to stand down from any of these activities, I don't mean to impose any task on you in addition to your present responsibilities.
think it should be all right. Just wanting to know the time frame when we're to meet.
That should be in about a week. Next Tuesday, I believe. We're looking to possibly get this kicked off around midnight.
All right. So we have a week to find someone. I guess we'll start looking into it.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Kane will provide us the name as soon as he's allowed to do so.
To the contact, of course. I will say, if you are interested in trying to find somebody, there are little nooks in the city that you can go where people like to showcase their skill set.
Definitely interested.
Sounds like an outing.
Well, if that is what you wish to do, that would probably be my first place to look. He kind of reaches into the breast of his jacket, pulls out a notepad, flips it out, writes something down in it, tears out the piece of paper, and hands you an address. That is one that we used to use here in the city that doesn't get used very much anymore. But some people still tend to use it for its original purposes. I tend to recruit from there from time to time if need be. I hope you find something that suits your fancy. Now, as I said, I don't mean to impose. That is all I really came here for. Maggie, please feel free to come by my office anytime.
Of course.
Thank you all. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. And he turns and leaves.
We'll see him to the door. Shut it behind him. Well, looks like we have a new assignment. And some more mystery around it. Typical Edward.
I wonder if it's for the broker or the prince.
Being brought to the Dali makes me think it's not for the broker.
Prisoner?
Or defector.
Defector. And why aren't the emissaries involved?
Who says they're not?
Perhaps they are. Look at the address. Oh, anybody want to watch some good fights? We should arrange this in a few days to go see.
Above the address, it just has in all caps KFC.
Isn't there a chicken place called like this?
Yes. Maybe that's what they do to the losers.
Perhaps it is fighting chickens, although that is really reprehensible. If we go, perhaps we could in the future find a way to disrupt it. Innocent animals being hurt like that is it's awful.
I agree. It is horrible when innocents are injured.
I'll just look at Grei, just like...
What?
So are we all interested in going, or just certain people?
I'm curious. I've been told I need to walk around the city a little more. So, this sounds like a good chance for that.
I can make the outing. Be seen, of course.
Sophie wants to make sure there's no chickens involved. Correct, Sophie?
Yes, it would make me feel better if I knew that, it wasn't that.
What about you, Matt? Or do you still need time to work on your own personal projects?
Watching two Neanderthals beat each other senseless, possibly kill each other, I would much rather try to build myself a time machine and transport myself back to ancient Rome.
Okay. So that's a note of that. But I guess the rest of us are going.
Should we be deferring to you now, Bella? I mean, I know you said you weren't going to lord it over us, but I mean, if we are somehow trying to come to a decision, does your voice hold more weight?
I don't think so, but nobody is stepping up and arguing, so...
Grei,
Oh,
are
no,
you
I don't-
new here?
I don't mean in this particular instance, just in general. I mean,
That's damn near how it's always been for us. We make stupid-ass plans. Bella goes, that's a dumbass plan, make one better. We always deferred to Bella's idea. Just now she's got a title.
well, and titles are important, and they matter.
Do you want me to lord it over you?
No, I'm just concerned about your image.
Okay, how about this? If we are in public with other kindred of the Camarilla, sure, you can defer to me, if that's what you're worried about my image.
Should we be referring to you by your title?
I don't think it's as important in this city as many other cities. Charlie doesn't use her title.
True, but that's her choice.
I think it'd be kind of weird for me to like say, "You will call me Whip," when my own Primogen doesn't even use her title. Honestly,
Then I'll continue to call you Bella.
I like it better. Though I do like the Whip thing.
And when we are out in public, like I said, I am concerned about your image. So, deferent.
Sure, deference.
But when we're in private, you're just the tea and tarot lady.
Yes,
Fair.
with the drugs.
Just
Don't forget the drugs.
remember,
Never.
one safe word for public, one for private.
In this moment, two of you receive text. First is Bellatrix. It's from Charlie. New family in town. Please go say hi. With an address. And a couple of images of like an old man face.
Wait, she's doing the old man face? Or
No, like little like emojis of like
okay.
old men. Yeah. Do you respond?
On it.
And Matthew, you get a ping on your phone from Carbon. It's another article. An art exhibit. Roughly 4 miles from here. Just went up in flame. The information has not been released yet, but allegedly there is a signed letter from a now notorious art thief.
After I finish texting, I'll be like, oh, speaking of duties, it calls. I have to go. I'll call you in a few days to arrange our little outing.
Looking forward to it.
Matt, you look like you're going to have an aneurysm. Are you all right?
All right. Listen. The guy who used to be my best friend in the whole wide world and ended up betraying me to the FBI, causing me to spend 8 years in prison, is framing me.
Framing you for what?
Everything I've ever done.
So he's making you seem like you're sloppy.
I think he's calling me out.
By making you seem like you're sloppy.
Not so much sloppy as more egotistical than even Grei can achieve.
Oh, come now. Let's not give him credit he's not due.
Trust me, the only reason he would be framing me and not himself is because he wasn't nearly as good as I was. And that's probably what pissed him off.
So who is this person? One of us? Family?
He wasn't when I seen him last. Remember when I said, when you guys asked me about betrayal?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
He was the knife.
How long ago was this?
Back before all of this.
Right. How many years has it been? Like, is he an old man? If he is a kind, or are we most likely dealing with?
No, he wouldn't be an old man. He was roughly the same age as me, so he'd be in his 40s.
Okay.
Still a baby then. Should be easy to deal with. If he's calling you out, then let's find him.
Here's the problem. He's called me out on everything, including the gallery.
So he's been stalking you.
Wait. No, that's
Which gallery?
perfect. If he's
Oh, yes, already, framing him and, feeding him to Victor, possibly. Yeah, I've absolutely thought of that, Bella. No, trust me, I've already thought that one all the way through. It's the matter of where the hell is he and how's he been following me?
Wait,
I
so
need to find
you
him.
found the man who burned down Victor's gallery?
Yes, Grei, I found the man who burned down Victor's gallery. And he also just burned a place 4 miles from here.
is in our territory.
No clue.
Okay, so first, find out if it was in our territory. Second, why don't we utilize the influence we have in our territory? I believe we have some underworld influence, correct? Some people that are in the hush-hush, maybe they would be aware of this friend of yours. Why don't you utilize that to get the information and try to find him? It's a start.
We find him, flesh him out, we deal with him.
Right.
We flesh him out. I deal with him.
Okay, you can deal with them.
I like
We'll
that
just-
idea too.
We'll just hold him down while you beat him. Or whatever you want to do.
Oh, don't you dare. It
No,
wouldn't
you
be
don't.
fun that way.
I mean, okay, if you like moving targets.
Well, if it's arson, can't we lead him to the authorities? Nudge him that way, and then perhaps he would serve his time. Like, I mean, you did unfairly, but he would serve his time correctly.
Miss Clews, I appreciate everything you've done for us so far. And while I agree, under normal circumstances, him suffering in prison is not enough for this man. I want it to be slow and painful and enjoy and savor every single second I am squeezing the life out of his body.
I think you might enjoy what I gave you more than I had anticipated.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to seem like I had neglected it. He will take the package and he will see what it is.
It is a very old leather-bound copy of The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, it is perfect. Damn shame I got rid of the cigars, though.
That was that smell. Oh,
Moss had a way with words.
I'll walk to Sophie and put a hand on her shoulder. Matt wants this, but also, we don't know if he's kindred or kind. So, there could be complications of even trying to let him see justice the police way. Or how much he knows, honestly. You know, we do have our own brands of justice. And our own laws. Sophie.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's why I know that this kindred that is so interested in Duncan and I, if he were to just walk up and try to destroy me, it would not turn out well for him. So I don't think he would do that.
No, but he might try other ways. There.
It depends on how desperate he was. If he really wanted to end you, he'd break the traditions.
Or he'd find a way around it. We should probably keep an eye out from him and just not assume he's already gone. Better to be prepared. But I do really have to go, so...
Like you said, duty calls. And Matt, I do want to see that painting. I want to see how you fix the flaw.
Absolutely.
Matt. Sorry, Mr. Halden.
Matt is fine.
There. I had a look at the rest of this coterie after everything happened to make sure they didn't carry any passengers. May I have a look at you?
Plot twist, we all carry passengers.
Weren't you leaving?
I'll bow out the door.
Sure.
And she will first look at him with Oblivion Sight and then Binding Better.
There's nothing there.
You don't carry anyone. Not like this. That's good. She'll blink.
Oh. We're gonna have to get you someone so you can join the club.
The look when you say there's no one there isn't relief. It's actually hurt. Because he was wanting someone to be there. But she's not.
Maggie will take a couple of steps over to Matt. I have kept her body preserved for when you're ready.
I was actually thinking about that. We always talked about being cremated. And I have something coming for just the occasion. So if that's possible, we can do that.
It is. I hope you will supply the earth.
I have just the thing.
Good.
With that, we pull away from the ascent. And we will move ahead of Bellatrix to the address that she has been given, where we zoom in on a phone, revealing a text from Charlie. My whip is on her way. Have fun. With a bunch of fun little emojis. The phone closes, and it pans out to a man in an orange suit, smiling as he drinks from his bag. TikTok though, Rabbit. Don't want to be late for tea. And with that, we will bring this session to a close. Thank you, everybody, for tagging along so far. Please go back and watch the previous episodes and the other chronicles here at St. Pete. We will see you on the next chapter.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Bloody Strings is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Darkback. The storyteller for Bloody Strings is Devlin. Tonight's characters were voiced by Kyrie, Noree, Lekar, Truck, Kendall, and MissyMew. Visit our website at stpetebynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.